Yeah, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. It is Ringside Report. I am Dave Simon. He is AJ D'Alessio.
Yo, VIP.
Sup,
Hey,
dude?
boss.
Sup, dude? Yo,
What's up, man?
we are here to preview UFC 251. UFC 251 going down this Saturday night. We've got a new main event for the card. Jorge Masvidal is going to step in to fight Kymaro Huisman on 6 days' notice after Gilbert Burns, who was supposed to fight for the title, test positive for COVID-19. A bunch of people have tested positive for COVID-19 surrounding this event. We're going to get to that here on the show. We'll also talk about Mike Perry going completely bananas, cementing what I've been telling you about Mike Perry. Yeah, wear a mask for sure, but I've been telling you, man, Mike Perry is a complete clown and a total joke, and this video proves what I've been saying about Mike Perry for a while now, and I'm not really surprised with the latest video that we'll show you if you haven't seen it. And of course, Jorge Masvidal, that's really the big story, UFC 251. That's the big story. We got to say, before we get to all that, rest in peace to Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov, the father of Khabib Nurmagomedov. Of course, his first coach, the leader of a fight team in his native Dagestan, Russia, and a very important guy in the sport, a guy who has been very influential with a lot of the key fighters that you see today. So definitely rest in peace. Khabib's father passing away late last week. Very sad news. He was dealing with some health issues for a while. And, yeah, so our condolences going out to Khabib and the whole Nurmagomedov family.
Very, very young, too, Dave. He was only 57 years old. So he was quite young, and it's unfortunate because he could have brought so much more to the sport. Obviously, like as a coach to Khabib and the rest of the fighters, like you said, because when you look at Dagestan, they've produced so many champions. It's ridiculous, and it's such a shame that, we lost a legendary guy and a very, he was a humble guy, too. When you used to hear him talk and speak and whatnot, it's a big loss, So respect to Dagestan and the Khabib family,
Yeah, and Khabib, very important in the sport. His father passing away, another casualty of this whole COVID-19 pandemic, right? He died after he had COVID-19, and there were complications after that. I think he had a stroke, and he was suffering from a variety and a series of kind of health issues brought on by COVID-19. And again, man, sad time. A lot of people are passing away. A lot of people are sick. So stay safe. Like AJ was telling you there a couple seconds ago, wear that mask when you're outside. If you're indoors, wear the mask when you're around people. AJ's got his mask. I've got my mask handy as well, man.
Oh, man, you got it on you. I'm surprised. What is that fancy one you got there?
It's
what is it, Reebok?
Adidas.
Adidas, excuse me.
Look at
Someone
that.
Makes the bucks on the show.
Yeah, you like that, AJ? Adidas,
I
man.
like it a lot, man.
Yeah, it's nice.
Oh.
Looks good. I like, and it feels really nice and comfortable. They weren't that expensive, man. They were like 3 for $20 or something. Good deal. Good deal. Good
Online?
mask. What? Online, yeah.
You got it?
I'll hook you up, AJ. Don't worry about it.
I'm not so good on online stuff.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'll order it for you. I'll take care of you. But it's good, to have these masks, man. I'm buying them because you gotta have a bunch of them. I got a couple in my car now. I've got one here. I got one there. I got them all over the place because you never know when you're gonna need one. You gotta get some milk, pop into a dépanneur, the corner store. We call them dépanneurs over here, but you need a mask. So you pop in. Yeah, 7-Eleven, whatever. Couche-Tard. Couche-Tard for me,
that's
baby.
That's in Quebec, man.
I know,
actually, in the States, they're called Couche-Tard now, too.
Are they?
Yeah, I think they got sold or whatever, man.
Point is, you need to wear a mask. You need to stay safe because a lot of people are testing positive for COVID-19. Nobody is immune to this thing. You gotta well, maybe some people are immune. I don't really know, but this thing is it's everywhere, and you got to be careful because you don't know if you're immune to this thing. You don't know if you're gonna get symptoms, and even if you don't have symptoms, you could pass it on to other people. So be safe out there because Gilbert Burns, he tested positive for COVID-19. He's missing out on a world championship fight. Maybe you're the one who gave it to Gilbert Burns. How bad do you feel if you're the one who gives it to Gilbert Burns and he steps away from a world championship fight against Kymaro Huisman? So Gilbert
Not
Burns
cool.
definitely.
Not cool.
Thoughts with Gilbert Burns. Hopefully that he's all right. Mike Brown as well, who's a coach at American Top Team, one of the top coaches in the business, a former WEC featherweight champion, beat Uriah Faber back in the day. Mike Brown is a legend of the sport. He's got COVID-19 now. And Dean Thomas also has COVID-19, another coach in the sport, former MMA fighter. A lot of guys are testing positive for COVID-19 around the UFC. Mike Brown, one of the head coaches at American Top Team, he's Jorge Masvidal's cornerman. Jorge Masvidal doesn't have his cornerman this Saturday. He's going to be without Mike Brown. He's going to have somebody else there with him, but maybe he got his girlfriend to corner him.
But think about it, Dave. If the head coach has corona, who's probably been working with him the last little while amongst other fighters that he's been training, man, I don't know, man. I hope Masvidal passes the test during well, actually, I think a test was today and another one tomorrow. Let's hope things go his way. But you know what? I'm sure there's a big question mark right now with the team.
That's it. They're
sad, man. It's crazy.
They're continuing the tests. All week tests are happening. They tested them before they left when they were in Las Vegas. So Masvidal gets the call last weekend. He flies immediately from Miami to Las Vegas. He's there on maybe Sunday or Monday. I think Monday he gets there. He's tested, and then he stays there for, I think, a couple of days. He flies out to Abu Dhabi. He gets to Abu Dhabi, say, Wednesday, and then he's tested, and he's tested again maybe today. I don't know if he was tested again on Thursday, but I know that there's a Friday test. So there are a series of tests. They're being very, very careful, and, there are stories out there. There's Paul Felder, who is a UFC fighter currently, and a guy who does commentary for the UFC. He was supposed to go out there to Abu Dhabi, but he's not going because he was on an airplane going to Vegas sitting next to Dean Thomas. Dean Thomas,
what?
Dean Thomas tested positive for COVID-19. This has all been exposed by Michael Bisping on his podcast because Michael Bisping is out in Abu Dhabi. He was only supposed to do, I think, 2 shows, but he's winding up doing 3 because Paul Felder's not coming out to Abu Dhabi. So Bisping is there to replace Paul Felder. He gets an extra payday. So he explained why he's out staying in Abu Dhabi. It's because Felder and Dean Thomas were sitting near each other or next to each other on the plane. I'm not sure how close. I guess they're not following social distancing on the plane these days. I don't really know.
Where was it in the? Was it in the States?
Probably. Yeah, it's in the States. Plane from Florida to Las Vegas.
Oh, it's Florida. You know what that means?
Maybe not Florida. I think Florida, but I'm not 100%. I think it was Florida. But look, so
think about it.
Hold on. I got to get to the end of the story here. So Felder comes over. Dean Thomas comes over. They get to Vegas. Thomas gets tested. Felder gets tested. Thomas tests positive. He's got COVID. Felder tests negative. But because they were sitting so close to each other, they're like, look, man, we're going to hold you here. We're going to test you again in a couple days. And you're not going to go to Abu Dhabi to do these fights because we're just not sure. Something's weird here, right? I mean, you're sitting next to the guy for a whole flight and you don't test positive. It's possible, but it's strange.
But it's got a 14-day window there, right?
Right.
Of the virus to come out. But what I was going to say is that Dean Thomas didn't only screw Paul, he screwed the whole plane. When you think about it, the UFC has taken down a whole plane again because everybody in that plane is going to be for sure.
How do you know Dean Thomas? Dean Thomas didn't know he had it going onto the plane. Let's not blame Dean Thomas for being patient zero on that aircraft, AJ. You don't know who gave it to Dean Thomas. Maybe it was some sweet old lady who was on the plane who had COVID, and she sneezed on Dean Thomas and gave it to him, and he winds up testing positive, AJ.
Beef,
you don't know.
Show me the beef.
You don't know. You don't know, AJ. You're making things up. Why do you want to blame things on your fellow MMA people, man? Let's push things outside of the community. It's not MMA people. It's those other people that aren't fighting, okay? Let's blame them.
Well, MMA guys get really close to each other, so chances are, statistically, it's pretty bad. Like in Quebec here, too. Look what's happening.
It's bad.
Look, think about it.
Well, where's Fred tonight? Dude. Where's Fred tonight? We're not even going to say. I don't even know if we can say where Fred is tonight.
He's in quarantine in Trois-Rivières.
Yeah. If you test positive for COVID-19 and you're a member of the Ringside Report team, we act like you don't exist, like you're not there, and we just forget about you. And if you're gone, you're gone. I'm sorry. We love you, but that's it. We just forget about you. AJ, goes the same for you. Goes the same for me. You know, rules apply to the whole team.
No. Hey, listen, man. We're brothers, man. We're a team, man. We're a triangle. One without the other. The Three Musketeers. So Freddie's doing. Are we allowed to say what he's doing? Like
I don't know.
Again?
No, I mean,
did I let the cat out of the bag again?
AJ, you really know. Okay, this is a 3-man show. Fred's usually here with us. Fred is not here tonight, and I'm not sure if Fred has allowed us to. But he's talked about it on the show before, right? Can't we say? I think we can say.
As long as he's wearing his mask at the lap dance, it's perfectly fine. I told him, wear the mask. It's fine.
AJ, come on. You know where he is.
Don't worry
AJ, you know where he. So you're not gonna say it. Should we not say it?
Actually, I'm gonna tell you. No, this is what was supposed to happen.
I don't know.
I wasn't supposed to be on the show tonight because of like some. I was moving and internet issues, and because of the pandemic, we can't be in studio because generally we're in studio, all of us. So I wasn't supposed to be on, and Freddie was going to be on, and boom, out of like the blue, like Fantasy Island just happened. Take it away, Dave. Are you gonna take it away, Dave?
What do you mean take it away, man? Dave? So I have to be the one to reveal what's going on? So you moved, right? You are moving, and you may not have had...
I'm in a new dig.
Yeah, you may not have had internet in time. You just got your internet installed like 3 hours ago, so it was really close, right?
Not even.
Like 2 hours ago, maybe. Yeah, like an hour and a half.
Even less. Yeah, because I was saying, listen, man, you got to do it. I'm on a show, man. Just do it. But you know how these guys are. But you know what?
So there was a chance that you were not going to be on the show, and we got word from Fred earlier that his girlfriend is in labor right now, and he's about to welcome another little Garcia child into this world, which we're all super excited about. And Fred didn't say that we couldn't talk about it. I'm sure. I mean, he's gonna say, and he's not gonna be on the watch along on Saturday. We're telling him to go, man. I don't think he's gonna be on because he's got a newborn baby to deal with. So that's really exciting. So. We're excited for Fred. We're really happy for Fred, and Fred will be back on the show. I think in a few weeks. We'll give him a few weeks off. I think he's going to take a few weeks. We haven't really discussed how long Fred is going to be off from the show. We haven't really talked about it. I haven't had any conversations with Fred about like how long he plans to not be on the show for or whatever. He does it from home, so it's not like he has to travel or anything. But still, with a newborn baby, it's a lot.
It's awesome, man.
Right? You know about it, AJ. How old's your little guy now? 7, 8 months? 9 months?
7 months.
7 months.
7 months. Yeah.
Man. And you know what it's all about, It's a lot. It's a lot. So that's where Freddie is, and that's where Freddie will be, I think, for the next little while. And Freddie will be back on the show in a little bit to tell us all about how everything is going, and we're really happy for Freddie. So congratulations to Freddie and Genevieve. We're super happy for you both. We love you both so very much. On with the show. UFC 251. AJ, are you hyped for this? Masvidal replaces Gilbert Burns. Like, okay, COVID-19 sucks, but the one shining light of COVID-19 is that we get to see Masvidal against Usman instead of Gilbert Burns, right? I mean, Gilbert Burns is cool and all, but like,
no, he's not just cool. He's
come on.
He's dominating. He's awesome, man.
Yeah. But is he a main event? Is he a big star?
Yes.
Like we were talking about this card, and we were not super hyped about this card because it lacks.
What are you talking about?
I mean, it's a solid MMA card, but it lacks that star power. It lacks that extra sizzle. It lacks the money factor. It lacks a BMF. I mean, Gilbert Burns.
He is a BMF.
Look, man, Gilbert Burns didn't main event at Madison Square Garden in front of Donald Trump. Didn't have The Rock put a BMF championship on him after he just beat up Nate Diaz. Like, that didn't happen to Gilbert Burns. That was Jorge Masvidal's last fight. Jorge Masvidal is one of the hottest fighters in the sport today. He's one of the guys that people are interested in. You ask the average MMA fan who Gilbert Burns is, and they could tell you 2-3 things maybe about Gilbert Burns. You ask them about Jorge Masvidal, they care, they're excited. It's a fight they want to watch. This is the fight right here. Jorge Masvidal, Kymaro Huisman. This is the fight that was supposed to go down all along. This is the fight that was supposed to happen. Way back when Masvidal beat Nate Diaz, Dana White was like, yeah, he's going to get the Usman fight. It's going to be for the welterweight title. That's next for Masvidal. But the contracts didn't work out. Masvidal wasn't getting the money he wanted. So they went with Gilbert Burns instead, and they let Masvidal sit on the shelf. But now, when they're in trouble, when Gilbert Burns has to step away because he has COVID-19, and they find out 6 days away from the fight, well, they call Masvidal, and he says, well, show me the money. And they showed him the money. Masvidal, he talked about it on the Ariel Helwani interview on ESPN. Now, Masvidal said that he had to sign a 10-fight deal to get this new contract, right? Which is how they do, right? That's how they operate. When you sign a new contract with the UFC, when you want more money than your previous deal had, you have to sign a new one, and they're going to lock you up for a while. So I don't know. Maybe it's a good deal. Hopefully it is, but it's better. Masvidal said he didn't talk numbers exactly. He didn't say specifics. He said he's getting not exactly what he wanted, but he's getting closer to it than what they were previously offering. So the UFC, in this time of crisis for them without a main event, they did finally up their offer out of desperation, which tells you something. They had it. They were there. They were ready to do it. They just, didn't feel like it. But when the chips are down and they've got no other choice, well, then, they're going to offer Masvidal the money. And from what Masvidal was saying, it's a bigger piece of the pay-per-view pie. He's getting more. Masvidal said he didn't really want more money up front. He just wants more of what the profit is. He wants a bigger slice of the pay-per-view sales because he believes in his own brand. He bets on himself, and he believes that people will buy his pay-per-views because he's a star, and he's right. He is a star. People are going to buy his pay-per-view, and this pay-per-view will do a better number with Masvidal main eventing than it would have had Gilbert Burns been in the main event. And I'm not saying Gilbert Burns sucks as a fighter. I think Gilbert Burns is no, I'm saying he's not. He doesn't suck. He's very, very good. Okay, he's a great fighter.
Yeah,
he's a great fighter, but he doesn't have that sizzle that Masvidal does right now. You know it, right? He's not the money fighter that Masvidal is right now. He's a worthy contender, but he's not Masvidal. And the fact that Masvidal's stepping in makes this pay-per-view way better, way better.
Look, for sure with Masvidal there with his BMF title. I mean, there's a lot riding on this, and Usman wants that title. He actually said, listen, if I'm fighting Masvidal, I'm also fighting for his BMF belt, which I think is pretty cool because, you know what, just like in boxing, you have like different belts and whatnot from different like councils and whatnot. Like the UFC kind of brought in that with the BMF title, like wrestling does and whatnot. And I think that if Usman would fight obviously the fight will happen if Masvidal doesn't come down with Corona by Saturday. He should take the BMF title, man. I think that would be cool to take 2 belts. I think it would be awesome. But you know what? A lot of respect for Masvidal to take this fight on 6-day notice. A lot of respect for Gilbert Burns because the guy was literally crying. You have an opportunity to fight for the belt. He's on a hot streak. You don't know where this virus can take you down the road in a sense. It's heart-wrenching because you know what? You're so close to getting what you want. And you know what? It's just as bad luck as when you think Tony Ferguson walking and tripping over a cable wire and like rupturing his knee. I mean, it's mind-boggling, all this craziness, how people are not getting what they deserve. Like Burns, he can't fight, not because he's not healthy. He's been training like a beast to get that title. And in fact, I had said that if anybody could beat Usman, it would be Gilbert Burns because Usman can't play that wrestling game as well as he can against Burns as he can against Masvidal. Because Masvidal's only, I guess, weak point would be the wrestling aspect. And Usman is a beast. Usman's game is wrestling. He's a division, he's an NCAA Division II wrestler. This guy, man, has it all. And this is where Masvidal's biggest problem is going to be. So you know what? I give it to Masvidal because he has a lot to lose. Because if he loses this, what happens to the credibility of the BMF after that? Like, is it going to be as prestigious? But if he does beat Usman, holy smokes, man. This guy is riding high. And you know what? He'll never have to beg for more money from the UFC because he's going to get what he wants.
We'll see.
Hey,
I don't know.
Man, what's happening? Did you actually listen to me when I was ranting?
Yeah? What? What's the matter? Did I disappear on you, AJ? You okay?
Ah, they won.
What?
Bell Media.
Are you not listening to me, AJ? Can you hear me, AJ?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right. Goddamn. The hell is going
Damn
on
it.
over there, AJ? I don't know, man. As far as, the wrestling of Kymaro Usman, for sure, it's dangerous. I don't know if he's going to get a chance to do it, man. We thought that Ben Askren had really dangerous wrestling. What happened to that?
Yeah, but look at that, man. That was just an unfortunate fluke. That's like getting hit by lightning 3 times. You know what? You know what? The biggest shock to me wasn't Ben Askren losing, was Ben Askren leaving the game because he had so much potential still. And you know what? It was the fastest knockout. Masvidal cemented his name with that knockout. But is that enough to say that you have the power to beat Usman? I don't know, man. That's questionable to me. I think Usman will still remain, like in my opinion, will still remain the champ out of this. It'll be an amazing fight. There's no doubt about it. But Masvidal will still continue to play his game. Even if he loses to Usman, he's still going to have that BMF match with someone else. He'll still be in the picture, but I don't think he has what it takes to beat Usman.
That BMF title is not on the line, by the way. The BMF title not on the line because Masvidal said that Usman is not a BMF. Usman is 16-1, undefeated in the UFC. He has beat Damian Maia, Rafael Dos Anjos, Tyron Woodley, and Kobe Covington all in a row. That is quite an impressive run that he's gone on. And he has defended his world championship once now. He is 33 years of age. He is big. He is strong. I don't think he could ever fight at 155 pounds like Masvidal did for a good chunk of his career, right? I think Kymaro Usman is a much bigger guy than Jorge Masvidal, right? Going into it, I feel like he's much larger. I couldn't see him ever fighting at 155. I think he'd have to cut off a leg. But Masvidal, he's 2 years older than Usman, but he's been fighting as a professional since 2003.
Yep. He's got like 48 fights.
Right. He's learned a trick or two. Kymaro Usman's been fighting since 2012. He's been tested, but not tested like Jorge Masvidal's been tested throughout his career. He's seen some things, but he hasn't seen what Jorge Masvidal has seen. Kymaro Usman has 17 professional fights, and he started fighting in 2012. In 2012, MMA was a different sport than it was when Masvidal started fighting pro in 2003 and fighting before that in backyards of Miami, Florida. Masvidal fought for Bodog Fight. He fought for Strikeforce. He fought for Sengoku. He fought for Bellator. And he's fought for the UFC. He's been everywhere. Fought in Japan, big crowds, small crowds. Doing it for the past 17 years professionally. 35 and 13. This will be his 49th pro fight. Masvidal's got a lot of experience, and I feel like he has taken all of that experience and all of that know-how and put it together at this stage of his career. I don't know if anybody had a better 2019 than Jorge Masvidal. 2017, he knocks out Donald Cerrone. He loses a split decision to Damian Maia, and then he loses a unanimous decision to Wonderboy Thompson. He doesn't fight at all in 2018. He comes back in 2019, a brand new fighter. Brand new. Knocks out Darren Till. Big Darren Till. Masvidal was the underdog in that fight. Knocks him out.
Yep.
Masvidal, underdog in the Ben Askren fight. Flying knee, 5 seconds. Fastest knockout in the UFC history. One of the craziest things you ever see. Posterizes Ben Askren, and like you said, basically sent him into retirement. I think Askren fought, once more after that, and then that was it. Fought Maia, and then that was a wrap, right? Maia choked him out.
Yep.
Then he fights Nate Diaz in that great big Madison Square Garden thing, the BMF title. Wins by TKO after 3 rounds in a war. that I would like to see more of. I'd like to see those two fight again. But the Jorge Masvidal that showed up last year was a different guy. It's not the guy that we're used to. It's not the Masvidal. Like, he has figured something out. And sometimes in martial arts, you just figure it out. And I feel like Masvidal's figured it out. And right now, I feel like he's going to win. Kymaro Usman minus 225, the favorite. Masvidal plus 185, the underdog. AJ, you've got Usman. I'm going with Jorge Masvidal. Knockout in the first.
What?
Maybe the second. But I think he puts him away early. Dave. I'm going with Masvidal. Easy, knockout. Man. First round. He's going to baptize another one.
Whoa. Man, take it easy. You're a 5-round fight, and you're saying the first round knockout? I don't know, man. If that comes out and anybody bets on your predictions, they're going to make a lot of money. But I seriously I don't see that happening, man, at all. You know what? And that's I love Masvidal. And you know what? And you know what? What you didn't mention as well is that Masvidal, one thing with this guy is, I think he went as far back as fighting in the backyards of Florida with Kimbo Slice Productions in the days.
I did say that.
This guy, man, did you say that?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear the Kimbo Slice part. But
pay attention.
You know what? Yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard. But the thing is this, is that this guy, one thing with Masvidal is he can fight against Diaz and he can go to war. I'm not sure if Usman is going to be able to go to war like Masvidal is capable of doing. The only difference that I see is this, is that Usman's key to victory is his wrestling game, and he's the best at it. And if he's able to do what he does, he's going to win this by decision. That's how this fight is going to end, in my opinion. I don't think any knockout's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be a TKO submission and whatnot. I think it's just going to be you know what? It might not be the Masvidal fights that we expect. Like some fights that we've seen with Conor or George. It's going to be
No, let's talk about Kymaro Usman for a second. What has he done?
What about him?
What has he done? Other than the Kobe Covington fight, which was impressive. But really, who is Kobe Covington?
Which was impressive, Dave.
Who is Kobe Covington, really?
But still, he was... he's like a better version of...
Tyron Woodley.
A higher version of...
Tyron Woodley, okay? Usman totally dominated Tyron Woodley. How did Tyron Woodley look in his last fight? Tyron Woodley seems like not the same fighter. In that Usman fight, he didn't seem like the same guy. Seemed like he was done. The Dos Anjos fight, he beat Dos Anjos in 2018. It doesn't mean as much as if he had done it in 2014. If you look at what he's done, he hasn't, he's good. He's very good. But I don't think he's weathered the storms that Masvidal has had to weather. And I think that his path to this spot, albeit difficult, hasn't been as difficult as the path that Masvidal has had to walk. And I look at what Kymaro Usman does, and I see a guy who is big, who is strong, who is athletic, who is a very good wrestler, who is durable. He can take a punch, for sure. But he's not a guy. He's not a guy who's fought elite strikers in the UFC. He's not a guy who has ever fought a guy like Jorge Masvidal, who might be the best boxer at 170 pounds right now in the UFC. He hasn't fought a guy with the fluidity of striking that Jorge Masvidal brings to the table. He hasn't fought a guy as dangerous as Masvidal. And when I see Kymaro Usman's stand-up game, I don't see one of the better strikers in the UFC. I see a guy who, he's basic.
He's got
good
basics.
Got 7
knockouts.
Come on, man.
Knockouts,
Where?
Let's not forget that.
Those are not knockouts. Those are TKO wins. That's different. That's different, man.
Yeah,
I take you down.
Right.
I take you down. TKO
right.
is totally different, man. A TKO win, if you're a good wrestler, come on, man. You scoop somebody with a double leg, you take them down, you pass the guard, you mount them, you start throwing punches. That's a TKO win. That doesn't mean you're a good striker whatsoever. Kymaro Usman has a bunch of TKO wins early in his career, mind you. Most of his TKO wins come in the first 6 fights of his career, where he has 5 TKO wins of his 7 total TKO wins. His last TKO win was in his last fight in the 5th round over Kobe Covington, and that wasn't hey, I'm a clean striker, I'm going to knock you out, smack you with a punch and then knock you down. That was just a cumulative effect of strikes and punishment over the course of a 25-minute fight.
Fatigue.
Yeah, fatigue as well, right? It wasn't a clean striking exchange, and he wasn't fighting, goddamn Alistair Overeem or, Ernesto Hoost there with Kobe Covington, right? It's not Crow Cop in there, okay?
Sure.
So,
look,
I'm saying is Kymaro Usman's striking game is rudimentary compared to what Jorge Masvidal brings to the table. And I think that's going to be a problem when they step into the cage. I see Masvidal as a guy who has much better footwork, who moves much better. I think Usman is more powerful, but that power doesn't mean shit if you can't land it. And if you start hitting air, after a while, you're going to get tired and you're going to be more susceptible to body shots and you're going to be more susceptible to the knockout. So I like Masvidal in this fight by knockout. I think Masvidal's going to catch him early. I think he's going to hit him with something. He's going to hurt him. Watch that Nate Diaz fight. Masvidal drops and almost finishes Nate Diaz in the first couple minutes of that fight. And Nate Diaz is one of the toughest, most durable guys out there. When's the last time you see a Diaz brother drop? These guys don't go down. Nate went down in the first round. He didn't stay down, but by God, you put Nate Diaz down and you cut him up like that in round one, you have my respect. I took Nate in that fight. I picked Nate to win. Masvidal impressed me. I don't like a fight ending by TKO due to a cut. I don't like a cut finish. I don't like a doctor stepping in. That fight was in New York. Again, if it was in Vegas, I think things go the other way. I think it keeps going, but that's another story for a different day. I've got respect for Jorge Masvidal's stand-up game, and I think people are maybe overlooking that. Sure, it's on 6 days' notice. Sure, Usman's tough. Sure, he's the big favorite in this one. He looks impressive, but in there, I got Masvidal. I got Masvidal by knockout early.
Look, it's very simple, Dave. Usman is not afraid of Masvidal. He's not afraid that he agreed to fight this guy. He could have walked away from this fight.
Sure.
You know what I mean? He's got a title. He could have walked away, but he knows that if he plays his game, prior to his last 5 fights, other than Colby Covington, all the rest of those 4 prior fights were all decisions. So that's what Usman's game is. It's going to be a pure wrestling game. And I don't think it's going to be as exciting as what we expect from Masvidal, because Usman's going to take him to the ground. If he doesn't win by decision, which I think he will, it might be a TKO win stoppage. But I don't even see that happening because Masvidal is tough as nails. You know what? I don't think it's the best fight for Masvidal to take on 6 days' notice. I mean, he doesn't have a great training camp. He's not prepared against a wrestler like Usman's capabilities. And I'm telling you, this is going to be a 5th win decision.
Incorrect. I saw an interview with Dustin Poirier who who just fought and just won a big fight, right, Dustin Poirier? Just beat Dan Hooker in the fight of the year. Poirier said awesome. Masvidal was there his entire camp. He said he flew in wrestlers the whole time. The whole time Dustin Poirier was training, which is like 2 weeks ago that fight happened, the whole time Masvidal's in there training, flying in wrestlers, preparing for Kymaro Usman because he knew that down the road this was going to be his opponent. Masvidal has been preparing for Kymaro Usman. And guess what? Kymaro Usman's been preparing for Gilbert Burns.
Yeah,
he's not been preparing for Masvidal.
You got a point. You got a point there, Dave. I didn't know that part.
You,
if that's the case,
AJ, come with me. Come on the Masvidal side. I'm telling you, we're going to make money on Saturday.
You know what? Look, you know what? We're going to see the odds by Saturday come around. I want to see. My biggest concern right now is that he tests positive today, and I'm pretty sure they did a test today and tomorrow, and then we got to see what happens on Saturday. Because at any point in 3 days, with the amount of people that he was around, and I'm surprised Poirier didn't get corona because he's been around for the last weeks. So you know what? My biggest concern is really the corona. If it doesn't shut down the main card.
Yeah, I really hope that nobody gets it right now. I hope that nobody else gets it that doesn't already have it. That would very much suck. I want to give a shout out to Jason Morno Pete, who's on the chat right now watching. Bob Burgers is on the chat watching. I see you, Bob Burgers. Mad Dog Vashal on the chat as well. I'm assuming those are all their real names. Antoinette as well, jumping in on the super chat. Appreciate you, Antoinette. She says, "Hi guys, late but here. Usman will win." Antoinette's going with you. She's like, Kymaro Usman I've got Jorge Masvidal, the BMF. He's going to be the champ, BMF, and then the UFC welterweight champion. And then we fight with Nate Diaz for the welterweight title, baby. Let's go.
Man, that's insane. Woo. You know what I'd love to see? Listen, if Masvidal can pull this off, you know, and then he's like champ, man, I'd love to see a fight with Conor just for the BMF belt. It's a no-stress fight for Conor, and for Masvidal, it's a no-stress fight, but it would bring such man,
that'd be big.
Viewership.
Conor,
that'd be huge because
if Masvidal wins, man, money time. If Masvidal wins, it's money time because he becomes a welterweight champion, and then you could bring Conor out, and Conor could come out, fight for the BMF title, and fight for his third world championship in a third division. Could you imagine that? No one has done that, and I don't know if anybody will be able to do that. That's some wild stuff. 145, 155, and 170. Conor, if he beats Masvidal, which, you know, tough fight for sure, but if he could beat Masvidal somehow, could you imagine the craziness then when Conor is like a massive, like, triple champion? Jeez, man. The Conor McGregor show would just overtake the world at that point. Woof.
But that's perfect for Conor. That's really a Conor
best
episode.
Best case scenario for Conor McGregor, Masvidal wins, and then Masvidal, you know, would be down with that fight. That's big money. UFC would be down with it. Big money all around.
For sure, man.
I think that's best case scenario for a lot of people involved. I think that's best case for Masvidal. Obviously, the win. He loses, sucks. But if he wins, a lot of doors open up. And I think for Conor as well, he would love that to happen. Even the UFC, I think they wouldn't mind seeing that go down. So
they wouldn't mind, man, with the money that would generate. Of course they would love it. I'm sure Dan, if he's listening to us, he's probably like, shit, man, I hope freaking Masvidal wins this. Because all of a sudden, man, all doors, of course he listens, man. He knows that. He got upset at you a couple of weeks ago. That's why our show went down for a bit.
Dana's always listening.
Dana.
He loves us, you know.
Dana, man.
Dana knows. Acme Tunes on the chat. He says Usman wins by boring decision. Antoinette says not an Usman fan. She says she's not an Usman fan, but she knows it's gonna happen. Kymaro Usman for the victory, and that's what a lot of people are saying. And I'm going the other way. Look, when I first saw this fight, I said, yeah, that's a bad fight for Masvidal. Usman wins, but then I'm hearing all sorts of different things about Masvidal's training, and I know that Usman hasn't been preparing for Masvidal. I don't know, man. I think it's going to be a tougher fight for Usman than people expect. I think that Masvidal has been surprising a lot of people lately, and I think he's going to continue on that path. I'm really impressed with Jorge Masvidal. I think he wins. Masvidal wins.
Look,
knockout, round one, baby.
Man, if that happens, Dave, I swear I'm going to get you like a dozen. Hey, wait a sec. You haven't paid me my bagels yet. I just thought about it. Johnny sent me a message not too long ago. You still owe me like a dozen bagels, by the way. Do not forget that. So this is what I'm going to do. You want a double or nothing on a first round knockout?
It took me so long to get my bagels when you owed me a dozen bagels from a bet.
Yeah, but now,
I'll get them for you. I did forget. Longer. I know, I totally forgot about it.
I saw your face, man. I'm like, you know what? Thank you. Thank God for Johnny, who reminds us or reminds me. Don't forget, Dave owes you this, and don't forget to tell Dave about this on the show. And Johnny, man, you know, he's on the ball.
He's just trying to get me for some.
You know what I'm upset? You know what I'm upset about? I'm upset about one thing. I had a beautiful poster of Johnny North that I took off the wall at the last fight of Johnny, and people were telling me you can't do that kind of stuff, and I'm like, I don't care, man. I'm taking Johnny's poster. You know that the movers, like, you know, with the rain and everything that came down, it destroyed the bottom part of Johnny's poster. I'm so upset.
No. Too bad.
I know. Too bad, but AJ. The good part is the top half of the poster.
I don't know why the movers were just handling a poster.
Why not?
Why didn't you have it packed?
I did pack it. I put it in a plastic bag and everything in the whole section, but
you have movers carrying plastic bags for you? You're supposed to do that yourself.
Well, the last move that I did, Johnny actually was part of that move.
Terrible.
You know, this time I got professionals, but you know what? I think me and
Yeah,
Johnny
but
did a
they
better
carry
job, if you ask
boxes
me.
and furniture. They're not supposed to be carrying plastic bags of stuff in for you. That's
Why
ridiculous.
not, man?
I don't know.
Man,
You
I'm
didn't do
paying
that
them like,
right.
you know, I did do that
No,
100%.
I don't think so.
I got screwed.
How
Look,
about
if
the
they were
rest of this
super
card?
nice, I would have mentioned them.
Let's get the
Oh
rest
yeah,
of this
the rest of the
card.
card is
Yeah.
awesome,
Oh yeah,
man.
there's other fights on this thing. You forgot about that, eh? Alexander
Oh,
Volkanovski defending against Max Holloway. These guys
oof.
just fought.
You know what? I'm gonna
It
tell
was
you.
a good fight, but like they fought in December. Holloway lost. I didn't see much, where I thought Volkanovski didn't win. I don't know,
Well, no,
man.
no, no,
Like
no, no, no. Wait. Hold on a sec. This fight is
Volkanovski
gonna be the
minus
fight of the night.
200. Volkanovski minus 200. Holloway plus 170. I agree with that. Like, I think Holloway could win. It was a 5-round decision, but it went unanimously. All 3 judges scoring it for Volkanovski, and I scored it for Volkanovski too, as I recall. I didn't think that it was.
No.
That.
Holloway.
I didn't think it was that far. I thought it was, pretty clearly a Volkanovski fight, man.
Listen, the end rounds, man. Holloway was starting to come into his game. The problem. This was the slowest start in Holloway's career. This was the slowest start. He was like molasses. And Volkanovski, this is where he took advantage. In the first round, the second round, he went into freaking third gear, fourth gear, fifth. He just went crazy, man. And that's what the difference was. If it continues the way Holloway left off, I'm telling you, Holloway's going to win this fight. And you know what? It's unfortunate because it wasn't the same Holloway. I don't know what happened. Like, it was that whole weight cut stuff prior. He was going through like some health issues. It wasn't the best Holloway on that night. But this is a different story. But let's not forget the latter rounds. Holloway picked it up. Volkanovski, can't even say his name anymore. Volkanovski, like he was starting to go down. So you know what? I think this second fight is going to be one of these. This is going to be a trilogy at some point because Holloway's winning this fight on Saturday, and this is going to be fight of the night. Let's not forget.
Okay, I'm going to go with Volkanovski as one of my locks of the night by decision. He's going to win 100%. When is the last time a world champion was soundly defeated by a number 1 contender by unanimous decision? They had an immediate rematch. They came back and won. When is the last time that has happened? I will wait because I can name you quite a few world champions that were defeated soundly in unanimous decisions that were given immediate rematches at the challenger. BJ Penn, Frankie Edgar, Benson Henderson. And they were defeated again in a very similar fashion in the rematch. I don't really see the point in this. I don't think Holloway has what it takes after 5 months, 6 months not fighting the guy. What are you really going to do 6 months later? If you beat me 6 months ago, I mean, for sure I want another shot in 6 months. I want another shot, but there's got to be a point in Holloway's mind where he's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't see it because I've seen too many of these fights. I've watched the sport for too long, and I've seen too many world champions lose, get the rematch, and lose again. It doesn't happen where they come back and win. It would be nice if it did. I like Max Holloway. I think he's more marketable than Volkanovski for sure. You can't even say his name. But I've seen fights, man, and I know the Volkanovski is going to win this one, man. When has it ever happened? Man. When has it ever happened?
It's going to happen on Saturday. Let's not forget who it is. It's Holloway, Max Holloway. Let's not forget who he is. And you know what? He had a bad night. And to be honest, I thought it was one of those fights where I was like, you know what? It could have went. I can't believe they gave it unanimous because Holloway was doing well in the latter rounds. But the truth is this. If Holloway plays his game right off the bat in the first round and not let Volkanovski get the game that he did on the prior fight, Holloway's winning this. It was a slow start, man. It was like I was looking at it and saying, Holloway, something is wrong. He just looked like he was deflated before the fight started. It's going to be a different fight on Saturday, and Holloway's winning this. Put your money on Holloway. He has something to prove, and this guy likes to fight, man, and you're gonna see it.
Just never happened before.
And not to take it away from the Australian, he was awesome. Let's not forget that this guy is awesome. But you know what? Everybody has a bad day, and that was Holloway's bad night.
Jason Morneau Pete agrees with you. He says Holloway looked sick during his interviews. He had deep dark eyes, like a bad weight cut, low energy.
Yep, exactly. And I was saying that is you know he's had problems. Remember, like who was it? I think it was Michael Bisping way back in an interview with Holloway that noticed that there was something like neurologically off with him. He couldn't answer questions. He was slurring. There was all kinds of issues. Mm-hmm. He had a concussion, and the thing is that there were a lot of like things that were going on with this man's career. But when Holloway is on the top of his game, man, nobody could touch this guy. This guy is like he's legendary status, man. At some point, and you'll see. Saturday he's winning. Max Holloway, dude.
You get to that point of legendary status, and then you're not there anymore. It happens. I don't know.
It happens.
I like Max Holloway. I think he's a very good fighter. I would like to see him prove me wrong. Odds makers agree with me. They have Volkanovski as the -200 favorite. I've got Volkanovski to win by unanimous decision. We will see on Saturday night if you're right or wrong, AJ. I like this because we're going into this Saturday night. We're going to be watching the fights together with you live on YouTube right here. And we'll see if I'm right about all these fights or if AJ's right. Or maybe we'll both be right. I don't know. But I've got Masvidal. He's got Usman. I've got Volkanovski. He's got Holloway. AJ, Aldo, and Peter Yan for the UFC Bantamweight Championship. Odds makers like Yan -210, Aldo +175. Do you disagree with that?
Peter Yan, man, is like he's a future champion. There's no doubt about it. He's gonna win this. He's unbelievable. When it comes to an all-rounded fighter, I mean, stand up, ground game, he has it all. He's the type of fighter that has the complete package, and he's so impressive. The only thing that he doesn't have is like that charisma. If he had that, he'd be like everybody would be talking about Peter Yan. And it's unfortunate. People are going to be like, "Who's Peter Yan? Is he from China? Where is he? He's a Russian fighter." The thing is that most people don't know who he is, except for real MMA fans that know his capabilities. But the regular fans that are out there, it's unfortunate. If he had charisma, he had a little bit of Connor in him. He had a little bit of Mike Perry, which he didn't put up. We were talking about earlier. Some kind of shtick. Everybody would know this guy because he's unbelievable as a fighter goes.
Well, it seems like people on the chat were agreeing with you as far as Kymaro Usman. More people picking Usman than Masvidal. But people are going with me as far as the Holloway-Volkanovski fight. I see that Jason, or Acme Toon says, hope Max wins, but I'm going with Dave on this one. And Jason agrees. So there you go. People going with me. And I'm agreeing here with you, AJ, on this fight. I also think Peter Yan is a really great fighter. I think he's going to be the next UFC Bantamweight champion. He is surging right now. The guy's 27 years old, 14-1, just knocked out Uriah Faber with a head kick in his last fight. Looking super impressive, looks better and better every time he fights. Jose Aldo feels like he hasn't been the same since Conor McGregor put his lights out in 13 seconds. He just hasn't quite been the same. Jose Aldo, he was a great featherweight champion. Wasn't he a great featherweight champion? Remember when he won the featherweight championship after he lost it to Conor? He fought Frankie Edgar and he regained that featherweight championship. He was a great featherweight champion, right? Remember when he fought Max Holloway? AJ, did a car just pull up into your living room? What's happening? What was that?
Some motorcycle zipping by, man.
So Holloway, right? Aldo fights Holloway in 2017. What happened? TKO, third round. And then they fought in December 2017. And I was like, yeah, I think Holloway's probably going to win by like TKO in the third round because that's what happened like 6 months ago. And guess what happened? Holloway won by TKO in the third round. Yet another champion who gets an immediate rematch and gets the exact same fate. Holloway did it to Aldo, and now Volkanovski's going to do it to Holloway. Like, I don't like that it's the case. It's just how fighting works. It's just, that the new lion takes over, and then the old lion can't ever be the leader of the pack anymore. It's how it works.
Yeah, it sucks when you see that happening. But like unlike guys like George St. Pierre that decided to leave the game, come back in the game, and still leave at the top of the game. I mean, there's very few that can do that. I don't even know if Connor is going to be able to do that. I mean, he needs to win some big wins to be able to leave the stage as the king, in a sense. So
He
it's
retired.
hard, man. It's a tough game.
He retired.
Well, he'll be back. He's going to be back. I guarantee you. He'll be fighting Masvidal by the end of the year, man. There's no doubt about it. Connor goes. It's even like Cejudo. Cejudo's retired. Where are they going, these guys? Honestly, they're only retired because there's a pandemic and they have reason to stay back because there's so many restrictions. Don't give me that bull crap that you're retiring. You're just using that excuse. The truth of the matter is that when things start getting back to some form of normal state, and you have to fight because everybody needs money to survive. Maybe Connor's different because he's got his proper 12 whiskey.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's good.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to fight, but he'll come to fight,
I think he likes it. And I think
listen,
he knows that there's money.
The better of him.
There's money on the table as well, right? There's money on the table. So why leave that money there when you're still young and you're still effective as a fighter? I think Connor is still a very good fighter. He could still do some damage. Here's another rematch that I don't really understand. Rose Namajunas against Jessica Andrade. The last time they fought.
What?
Okay. What? They fought a year ago. Jessica, and this was Rose's last fight. Jessica Andrade slammed her out of consciousness and took the UFC strawweight championship. Yeah, slammed her. Just completely slammed her. Rose tried to hold on to an armbar, I think it was, and it wasn't the right move because she got slammed on her head and knocked completely out. Jessica Andrade then went on to lose the championship in her very next fight, getting knocked out by Zhang Weili in 42 seconds. This is the fight after this. So now they're fighting again. Rose hasn't fought since getting knocked out by Andrade. Andrade hasn't fought since getting knocked out by Zhang Weili. However, it's not like Rose was controlling that fight and Andrade just landed a slam out of nowhere. From my recollection of that fight, Andrade was mostly in control. But Rose Namajunas is the favorite, minus 220. Andrade's the underdog, plus 180. AJ, explain this to me. You seem to be going with Thug Rose. Why are you picking Thug Rose here?
Because Thug Rose was lacing Andrade with strikes in that fight. He was winning that fight. It was just a long time ago.
I don't remember.
Yeah, man, listen. In my opinion, Rose was winning that fight. She went to go do this weird, like, Kimura armbar, whatever she was trying to attempt, and she got lifted and landed on her head. If that wasn't the case, Rose was winning that fight. It might have went to decision, but you know what? This second fight, and you know what I find impressive is that sometimes when you get dropped on your head like that, where most people could, like, it almost looked like a neck break, to be honest. It was really scary. If you look at the highlights, people were like, oh my God, this is nasty. It takes a lot of, like, mental build up to come back and fight again. And that's what happened to Rose. She's been out of the game for a while, and it took her a lot to come back, and she's fighting Andrade. And you know what? She's rejuvenated. She says she's ready to come back. She's in great spirits and whatnot. And if she fights like she usually fights, man, Rose is back on top. And I think she's going to beat Andrade. There's no doubt about it. There's nothing that Andrade can do to beat Rose, except for maybe slamming her on her head.
How about slamming her on her head? How about that? That seems to work pretty damn well.
Listen, but you know what it was?
Punching her in the face, too, will probably work.
No, but she can't get that because Rose was, like, peltering her with strikes. It was nonstop. She got so many strikes. The only thing that Rose's mistake is not to let go of that unsuccessful, like, a submission attempt. She should have let go as she got raised. And that's a mental mistake. She held on and fear took over and she landed. But if she would have let go, it would have been a different game. Well, I'm sure her jiu-jitsu coach or her wrestling coach really worked with her on that. There's no doubt about that.
The chat is agreeing with you, so I must be misremembering the fight. It was a long time ago, and we do watch a ton of fights. I didn't have time to rewatch that fight, but people are saying that Rose was winning that fight, and they're picking her to win again here. I'm not. I'm picking Andrade. I'm picking Andrade to win. To me, if you win a fight,
ooh,
I don't know. Getting dropped on your head too, man. That could really hurt you. I don't know. No, you get a concussion like that, it could be rough.
Did we agree on any fights tonight? We agreed on obviously Huisman.
Peter
Oh,
Yan.
Peter Yan. That's the only one. Yeah.
The only
That's
one
a
we
no-brainer.
agreed on the main card so far is Peter Yan.
That's against Jose Aldo. I mean, that's crazy.
I'd like Aldo to win. I think we'd both prefer if Aldo won that fight. You know, that'd be cool. Aldo becomes a 2-weight world champion. It'd be nice for Jose Aldo. I love Aldo, but I just don't see it happening. Okay.
But it seems like
you got Usman. I got Masvidal. You got Holloway. I got Volkanovski. We both got Yan over Aldo. You've got Namajunas. I've got Andrade. How about Amanda Rebus against Paige Vanzant to open this one up? This is Paige's last fight in her contract. This is a setup fight by the UFC. Rebus minus 750, the favorite. Vanzant plus 525, the underdog. She is the biggest underdog on this entire card. Amanda Rebus coming in with a 9-1 record. She beat Mackenzie Dern. She beat Randa Marcos. And she's coming for Paige Vanzant. Tough one for Paige Vanzant.
Listen, she's lost 3 of her last 5 fights. Dana White is probably pissed with her because of this whole contract disagreement. And you know what? She's going up against Rebus, who's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, a black belt in judo. This girl, man, is going to, you know what? She's going to submit Paige Vanzant, and she's going to do it in style. You know what? It's an unfortunate last fight for Paige, and I think that's it, man. Her career might not go any further in the UFC. Too bad. But you know what? Don't piss that off. This is what you get.
You know, Paige is really tough, really durable. She's tough to put away, but Amanda Rebus is really solid.
Black belt in jiu-jitsu, black belt in judo. She could do it. Believe me.
Yeah. She might tap her. I could see a
she's
submission.
Gonna tap her all right.
You think so? Yeah,
that's how that's going.
All right.
Look.
Well, I'm not sure.
It's not a submission. It's going to be a decision.
Yeah, that's it. There's no doubt about it. I think it might go all 3 rounds, but I've got Rebus winning by decision. Some other fights on this card on the prelims. You got Volkan Ozdemir taking on Yuri Prochazka. I don't know who that is. And some other fights. Eliuzi Zaleski dos Santos against Muslim Salikov. Makwan Amirkhani against Danny Henry. Yeah, the prelims aren't great. This main card is fantastic, though. The main card is really good pay-per-view. Watch it with us this Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the YouTube channel. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, leave a comment. When you subscribe, click the bell so you get notifications every time we're on. We are always on here on the Ringside Report Network. Don't forget to super chat us as well. Help us pay for these pay-per-views. Help keep us going. Help keep us going strong by supporting the Ringside Report Network by hitting that super chat, just like Antoinette did here tonight. Also, don't forget to support our sponsors, Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com. Use that promo code Ringside20. Go to manscaped.com. Promo code Ringside20 for 20% off plus free shipping on all your Manscaped orders. You want to go to Manscaped. You want to get the Lawnmower 3.0, which is now available in Canada. I have been using my Lawnmower 3.0 regularly. I love it. It has made me a new man in the summertime, and I love the Manscaped 3.0 razor. AJ, how awesome is the 3.0 lawnmower? We got that thing, and it is just great. It's a sleek little razor. Got a light at the end of it. Just fantastic. Order manscaped.com.
It's changed our lives.
Yeah, man, it really has. How great is that thing? It's fantastic. And now it's available in Canada. When we first started telling you about Manscaped, it was not available, but is now available. Go and buy it and use the promo code Ringside20 for 20% off plus free shipping. You cannot go wrong. They have so many great products. All the stuff is good. That Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0, though, by God, I love that thing. Like, I really legitimately love it. I'm so happy Manscaped sent it to us. It is a great product, and we appreciate Manscaped.com. Go to Manscaped.com, promo code Ringside20. You see them on the UFC Octagon. You see them here on the show. Manscaped.com, a proud sponsor of the Ringside Report Network. Promo code Ringside20 for 20% off, plus free shipping. Thank you to Jason Morneau Pete. Jason Morneau Pete dropping 175 Mexican dollars. I love it, baby.
Peso!
I love Jason Morneau Pete hitting us up with those pesos. Arriba! Thank you, my
Mas
friend.
Vidal.
Gracias,
I wonder what he's
Jason.
doing. What are you doing out in Mexico, Jason? What the heck, man?
I love it.
Are you living there?
He's a good
awesome,
man.
Jason. Good very good jiu-jitsu guy,
he
too.
says, great show again. See you guys Saturday. So he'll be watching Saturday during the watch-along. Thank you, Jason. We appreciate you. Love when we have, solid martial artists watching the show as well. It's always good to have real martial arts people as part of the Ringside Report Network as well.
That know the game,
I was doing martial arts today, man. I did jiu-jitsu. You jealous? You jealous?
I am jealous. I've been fixing beds and setting up mattresses, and it was a disaster, man. I hate moving.
It was so hot today, man, but we did 7 5-minute rounds, and it was great. It was great. Fantastic rolling today, man. Hot, sweaty, serious workout.
Mexico.
Yeah, man. And Jason says he lives in Mexico now, so shout out to Jason out in
Mexico. Wow. Man, hopefully he's doing some jiu-jitsu out there. Open up a school, Jason. You can do it, man.
I'm sure.
Hey, and spread the word about the show in Mexico.
Antoinette says, thanks, guys. Wow. Great show. See you Saturday. Drop in a super chat. Thank you, Antoinette. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Antoinette.
We love you, Antoinette.
You'll get your T-shirt at some point.
Yeah, come on. Send those shirts, AJ. What are you doing? You haven't sent the shirts?
Listen,
you said you were going to send them. You never sent them.
I did. I sent them. I sent them now.
Okay, now you sent them. Antoinette
the thing
will be with us.
The whole COVID thing, I had problems.
Yeah, okay. Antoinette's going to be with us on Saturday. We're going to be doing that watch-along on Saturday. We appreciate you all for supporting the network. We will get to that Mike Perry video here in a second. Before we do, I want to tell you about our friends over at Stitcher. Go to Stitcher.com/premium and use that promo code Ringside for a free month of Stitcher Premium. They've got so much on there. They've got the Ringside Report Network, Ringside Report MMA, Wrestling Uncensored. Stitcher offering you the Ringside Report universe as part of their sponsorship of our show. A special offer on Stitcher Premium. They've got 100,000 podcasts that you can listen to on iPhone, Android, tablet, PC, Amazon Echo, or in your car, on demand, ad-free. Stitcher Originals, bonus episodes, comedy albums, and so much more on Stitcher Premium. $4.99 a month, just $34.99 a year. Go to Stitcher.com/premium. Stitcher.com/premium. Promo code Ringside for a free month of Stitcher Premium. Go there today and support the Ringside Report Network. We appreciate you so much. You know
what?
And AJ, Antoinette says,
listen,
it's okay, AJ, but at this rate, driving would get it here faster on the delivery of the T-shirt you're supposed to send to the beautiful Ruddy Lad T-shirts that we did for a giveaway, I think 2 UFC pay-per-views ago. You still haven't sent those shirts out. I got a message from Derek John, who was another one of our winners. He said he didn't get his shirt, wondering where it was. You said you were sending them out weeks ago, and then Fred and I find out that you haven't been sending them. Yeah.
I couldn't. It's the whole COVID thing. I had problems with my mom and, things. It's all It's a mess, man. It's a mess.
You get a pass.
Look, it could be worse. I could be saying, listen, the check is in the mail. That's even worse, right?
Yeah, you don't believe AJ when he says that. So Freddie, it's all happening for Freddie. Freddie will be.
Well, listen to this. I have something for Fred.
Well, I said it before, but Antoinette wasn't here, and people were asking where Fred is. Fred is Fred's girlfriend is currently in labor, having a baby. So the baby's coming.
Yeah.
So Freddie will be gone for a little bit on paternity leave. So there you go. And Jason says that he still does BJJ wrestling and boxing out in Mexico. Trains every day, and he'll be dropping by BTT around December. So in December, hopefully there's jiu-jitsu again, and you can have a roll with Jason at your home gym, AJ. How about that?
Good news, man. I'm happy for that guy. He's very talented. So, and you know what? If he's doing that, if he's doing boxing in Mexico, imagine his boxing skills, how they're going to go up through the roof. And jiu-jitsu, I know, is growing in Mexico as well, because we have a lot of, well, not as much now, but within the last years, we had a lot of guys coming in from Mexico to learn jiu-jitsu here in Montreal. So,
they love a good fight out in Mexico, man. Good fight culture out there, good fighting culture. You talk about that boxing, boxing is just one aspect of fighting, but once they see, once it's exposed, the UFC is exposed in Mexico, and jiu-jitsu is exposed to Mexicans. The more they see, the more they're going to get into it. And, it's a matter of time before they have a really healthy MMA scene over there because they're a fighting culture. They love a good fight in Mexico. Cockfighting, all sorts of fights in Mexico. They love it, man. That's why I love Mexico, man. Mexico's a cool place. I've never been, but I like the idea of Mexico. I've never been. I'm scared to go anywhere. I haven't been anywhere, AJ. I've been nowhere.
I love Mexico. I love Mexico. But I was going to say, it's like...
You've been?
Yeah, man, many times. I've been there, man. Mexico knows me very well. I left some parts of myself in Mexico.
I've never left. Listen, I've never left, I've been to Canada, and I've been to the United States.
But you're a maritimer. That's what you love. You're a maritimer.
I like to go out to Nova Scotia. I've been there a lot, but I haven't been to, any other countries other than Canada and the U.S. And I'm good with that. I don't feel the need to go anywhere else either. I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do a ringside retreat. We're gonna take off at some point. Me, you, and Fred, and we're gonna go to I don't know. Maybe we'll go visit Jason in Mexico, which is awesome. I don't know what part of Mexico he's in, but you know what? Mexico, I love. And talking about the fighting scene in Mexico, think about the wrestling scene there, and think about UFC fighters coming out of Mexico.
Sure.
Let's not forget Velasquez. Velasquez, as a heavyweight champion, man,
California
was putting Mexico. He was putting Mexico on the map. I mean, he's kind of. Well, is he from California or was he born in Mexico? I think he was born in Mexico.
He's born in California. But
is he?
But his parents are Mexican, and
Yeah, man. Mexican pride, man.
Oh man. Jason says if we go to Mexico City, we got a place to stay for free, so we could stay with Jason in Mexico City. I don't think, not anytime soon, that's for sure. And I'm just not a traveler, man. I'm not into traveling. I'm not I have no need to travel. I want to go to Japan one day to see wrestling in Japan and just to see Japan. I'm interested in Tokyo and stuff. I'd like to see Japan. Other than that, there's nowhere I really want to go. And I don't really like traveling. I don't like flying. I don't like any of that. So Japan is so far that it's a life goal. It's one day in my life I'll go to Japan. I might be 50 when it happens, which I'm saying that it's a long way away, AJ. No offense, because I don't, that's how old you are. But for me, it's a long way away. 50 to me is 16 years from now. Well, it's a while ago. It's a while away from me. So I'm saying, because just when I said 50, I was like, oh, that's old. But it's not old. It's just older than I am now. You know what I mean, AJ? You're beautiful. You look no older than 25. All right, you look fantastic. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Fantastic. But I'm just not into it, man. And going to Japan.
35.
If I could, I'm waiting till not time travel, but what is it when you disintegrate and then you reappear somewhere else but you're not actually traveling?
What, like Star Trek?
Yeah, I want that to exist. And I figure by the time I'm 50, come on, man. 16 years if we're not teleportation. If teleportation does not exist, by the time I'm 50, we're fucking up. All right.
But listen. Did you ever watch the movie The Fly and that shit goes wrong? What happens if you come back and you're fucking?
No, I haven't seen that movie. I haven't seen that movie because it was made in not because it was made in the 80s, but I haven't seen that movie because when was it made?
Dave.
1986.
Where's Fred when I need him? Where's Fred?
See, Fred has seen The Fly
86.
because that's in his wheelhouse. For me, a movie like that, The Fly, made in 86, when I'm born in 85, it's doesn't compute. Sorry, I haven't seen The Fly. But
watch it,
all this to say that I'm not a big traveler.
I'm not old.
And you're a young man, and you look fantastic, and you're only as old as you feel. And I feel about 6, so I guess I'm 6.
Well, that's great.
I like Kool-Aid.
Hey,
and
listen,
hot
I'm going to
dogs.
tell you something. Listen, if the UFC decides
Me and my
to
son,
send
we have
us
the
to
same
Japan,
lunch.
I'm going. What those? What are they called? Those fish? Goldie fish? What are they called?
Goldfish.
Yeah,
I
was close.
We eat goldfish and chicken nuggets, and we drink juice, and it's great. I love it. It's my favorite.
You ever drink apple juice and pretend it's beer?
No,
Never
I
done
don't.
that stuff.
I don't like beer. I much prefer its apple juice. I don't drink beer ever. I'm like a 6-year-old. I drink Coca-Cola.
Listen, man, I'm going to tell you something. Italians at 6 years old, we were already drinking wine. Ask Antoinette. No doubt, man. All Italians.
I like a
We
little
start
wine.
early, man.
I like a little wine.
They used to dip it in bread and that kind of stuff and then make
Sure.
us eat it.
Mike Perry, shall we see this
What
debacle and
about
make
him?
fun of this guy? If you haven't seen this video already, you've been missing out. But there's this wild
This guy's
video of Mike Perry. He punches a guy. His girlfriend's trying to
What?
stop him. It seems like they're family of his girlfriend. I'm not really sure who it is, but let's listen and watch this crazy Mike Perry video with you and see who this guy really is.
Stay here. Let's go. I'll stay here. What do you want?
There's Mike Perry in the black t-shirt. There he is.
Here's your phone.
And that's his girlfriend, who I think was in his corner for his fight, right? That's the girl who was in his corner.
Yeah.
I'm worried about it. No, y'all want to call? Y'all calling the cops? I'll stay because if I leave and y'all come, no, I have a side. I don't have to go anywhere.
Touch her again, motherfucker.
Tell them to bring the. Are you bringing the cops? Because if I leave, then Did you touch me? Oh, you didn't touch me.
Trying to calm you down, bro. You were hitting my
He touched me.
You were hitting my
Hold on, that's my favorite part.
What
That's my favorite part right there. Oh, you didn't touch me?
He touched me.
He touched me.
What the? Are you sure that's
Okay,
Mike
hold
Perry,
on.
man?
Yeah, it is.
What?
I leave, then Did you touch me? Oh, you didn't touch me.
calm you down, bro. You were hitting
Oh my
He
God.
touched me.
You were hitting my fucking cousin.
So he touched me.
She's like, you hit my fucking cousin, so he touched me. So you touch him and you hit him? What?
Wait, Dave.
Yeah.
Wait. So you're telling me this is a family gathering? It's his cousin?
Well,
This is a family gathering?
She says, you hit my fucking cousin. By the way, Mike Perry is wearing a Fight Island t-shirt this whole time. If you
Oh my, let it roll. I want to see
hold
this.
on.
I want to see the end.
Look, see the shirt? See that shirt? It says Fight Island on it.
God.
He's wearing a Fight
I'm sure
Island
I'm
t-shirt.
sure Dana's very, very happy about this. Oh my God.
Woo.
He touched me.
He touched me.
So he touched me.
Hold on. Where's Mike Perry's face? Where's your face, Mike Perry? Like all zoomed in now. Hold on a second, AJ. Let me fix this for you.
You know what? I mean,
So
his
he
voice doesn't even sound like
touched me.
he sounds like he's drunk or something. He's like, yeah, and he's a whiner, man.
Go anywhere.
Holy
Touch her
smokes.
again,
Tell
motherfucker.
them to bring the. Are you bringing the cops? Because if I leave, then Did you touch me? Oh, you didn't touch me.
That's the best.
He touched me.
You were hitting my fucking cousin.
So he touched me.
See, she said, you hit my fucking cousin. He's like, so he touched me.
He touched me. You can all lie to me if you want to.
You hit him. Mike's right. You hit him, bro. You hit him.
But y'all gonna tell the police that I fucking
You gonna tell the police?
I
Yeah,
lied.
I ain't gonna tell the
Y'all knock
police.
your old ass out too.
You do it,
Yeah, let's go,
motherfucker.
you fat piece of shit.
Hey, no.
Hey,
Oh, that guy went down. That guy went down, man. That
Wow.
that bigger, older guy went down. He started making fun of Mike Perry the way he was talking.
nigga, back the fuck up. Call the police.
Oh,
Please stop.
hold on. Oh, the police.
You wanna touch him too? Back up, nigga. Back the fuck up. Call the police.
Ooh,
Uh-oh.
that's not cool.
Said the N-word there.
Nah, nigga, fuck
That's
you,
not cool.
nigga.
Oh, said it again.
Whoa.
He shouldn't touch me. You ain't on my side, bitch. You ain't on my side, bitch. Y'all don't see shit how it is. Y'all don't want to see.
Hey,
Wow. What the hell did I just watch?
that's Mike
That
Perry.
was this. Listen, that's so disturbing at all levels. I mean, the guy is at some kind of family gathering, obviously. He's completely lost it. And you know what's the scary part? I mean, like, you know, the words that he's using against certain people is disgusting. And you know what? This guy just realized that, well, maybe this morning or the day after, I don't know when this video was shot, He just realized that he's never going to get another contract with the UFC because Dana White is not going to allow this to happen. I mean, this is not how you represent the organization, and that behavior, man, is, you know what? He just shot himself in the foot, and it's a shame because his last fight, it was good, it was exciting, and he still, I'm sure, had a few more fights in his contract. But I'm telling you, that contract has been ripped. There's no way Dana's going to let this guy fight after this. You know what? I want to find out more of what happened, but knocking out that older man, he's going to be arrested if he hasn't been arrested already. That man is assault.
All
and you
I've
know what?
seen
If
is
anything happens to that man,
all I've seen is the video of
well, dude, the guy could be dead. He can have like long-term injuries. Mike Perry is going to be sued. If he thought he was only making $6 from his last fight, we're going to see Mike Perry working at a Chuck E. Cheese pretty soon. If he's lucky, because when you have like criminal record, you might not even be able to do that. But the thing is
I don't know if he got
shame.
arrested or anything or what happened there in the aftermath of that. All we've seen so far is that video surfacing, which doesn't look good. Looks like he's getting into a whole big fight with maybe his girlfriend's family. It was somewhere in Texas, and he punches this guy. That's clear that he hits this guy who's not a professional fighter. He's using the N-word as well. That's also not a good thing to be doing. Apparently, he's talked about it. He's used it before, and he's talked about it, and he said he's 2% African, so he's allowed to say it, which I don't think so. I don't know about that.
Right.
I don't know about that at all. So, yeah, Mike Perry, I mean, the guy's been a clown since day one. He's a mediocre fighter at best. He's really not that good. The guy is a gimmick. People seem to like him for one reason or another. I've always been kind of put off by him. Recently, when we talked about him and that fight he had with Mickey Gall, I kind of went in on Mike Perry, talking about how I didn't think he was much of a fighter. He's really not particularly skilled. He doesn't seem like he's particularly smart. He has his girlfriend corner him for some reason. She doesn't seem to know anything about MMA. She's not a coach or anything. And he just doesn't seem like a serious individual. And, he just seems like a total goofball, man. I haven't been impressed with Mike Perry in any kind of way. And I kind of assume that this is a regular Saturday night for this dude. This kind of stuff happens in his life, I think, more often than it is caught on video. I would not be surprised to hear a bunch of stories about Mike Perry. He's just done. He's done. He's done in the UFC, I would think, but I'm not really interested in seeing him fight. I wasn't interested in seeing him fight before this. After this, I'm less interested. He just seems like a joke, and this story's not going to end well. It would be smart for the UFC to disassociate themselves from Mike Perry now before the story gets even worse. I think this guy is going to, it's not going to end well, the Mike Perry story. Something's going to happen. He's going to do something. This isn't a guy who's going to turn his life around and live a good, straight path. I think it would be best if the UFC just cut ties now to avoid further embarrassment for the company.
Dave, think about it. The UFC released BJ Penn after that incident where BJ got on top of some guy and they were drunk at some bar and he choked him out. This is BJ Penn, who's in the Hall of Fame, if I'm not mistaken. Legendary fighter of the UFC, and he got released for that behavior. Mike Perry came into the UFC with a lot of expectations. A lot of people looked at him and he was like, wow, this guy's an exciting fighter because he brings it down. He's kind of like a Clay Guida. He goes in there and he makes a show. But this behavior, ever since he left his prior wife, man, he's gone downhill. His last fight was nothing spectacular, to be honest. And now with this incident, there's no way the UFC is going to keep him. And it's too bad. I don't know what's going to happen to Mike Perry, but, the guy needs some help. There's no doubt about it.
And I'm seeing a lot of people agreeing on the chat. Bob Berger says, what an idiot that Perry. Jason Morneau Pete comparing him to like a Mayhem or War Machine. War Machine is in prison right now. Mayhem's actually turned his life around. Mayhem Miller is not a guy who went down a bad path. I think he's a guy who just had some troubles. Mayhem, I think, is a different story. If you see Mayhem now, though, he's all right. Mayhem is kind of not as crazy and wild as he once was. I think he just had some, I think it was a chemical imbalance, really, with Mayhem Miller. I think there was a lot of problems there with Mayhem. With Mike Perry, You know, it might be a combination of things too, but he seems more of a thug. He seems more, you know, Mayhem was just kind of wild, you know, but he didn't seem like he was dangerous to others. War Machine, obviously dangerous to others. He's in prison. But Mike Perry, he seems like he's a danger to society. And, you know, maybe prison is where he's headed.
Look, Mayhem, it's, you know, I remember him in Beatdown Bully and whatnot. I mean, there was obviously something that he needed to take, which he wasn't taking. And
it was a TV
I remember
show.
that
It was a TV show.
Yeah, but
he was the host of a reality TV show. I mean, come on. What do you mean? What's the problem with that?
No, he was nothing. And I was saying he was doing well at that point, but then he was off his meds and he ended up in some church naked and they had to arrest him. Like his career went down.
That's different. That's like a little bit like,
different.
Okay, what's going on? There was like a hostage situation where maybe he took his sister hostage. I forget exactly what happened, but it was just like, you know, the guy was clearly having some mental health issues that needed to be addressed. I don't think with Mike Perry it's necessarily mental health issues, unless you're talking about rage and anger type management, and also maybe some racial issues. He seems confused about his own race and about what words he's allowed to use and what words he's not allowed to use. The N-word is not a word that Mike Perry should be using.
Look, you know what's not confusing, Dave? I'll tell you what's not confusing. For the police to look at that video and to see Mike Perry knocking out a man. That's right on tape. Straight assault.
Yeah.
I don't know when this video took place, but it's just a matter of time before he will be arrested and tried out. Unless that man is the father or uncle or someone of his girlfriend, which is pretty fucked up.
Well, that's it.
Like he doesn't want to press charges. But the police,
you know, she says you just hit my cousin, right? So it seems like maybe it's family there. Maybe he's family, and sometimes in family skirmishes, charges aren't pressed. And you know, we're coming down on Mike Perry because he comes off the way he comes off. But let's not forget, Conor McGregor also punched an old man in a bar. The guy just didn't get knocked out. You know, Conor was just unsuccessful with that punch, but Conor did it too, and we were not happy with him. But we want to see him fight again, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But you know what? We don't know what. I want to find out the full story with Mike Perry. But regardless of the matter, is that Conor threw like this weird ass swing at a man that was insulting him, and
come on, man.
Maybe you don't.
Come on, man.
Wrong.
He punched an old man in a bar. He shouldn't have done it.
You know what? Yeah, but you know what? It's going to happen in Irish bars, man. Have you ever been to an Irish bar? Shit happens all the time. I'll tell you.
Patrick C. Hamilton dropping a super chat. Thank you, Patrick. Patrick says, not sure if a relative will press charges. That's a solid point, you know, and I'm not sure either.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're related to Mike Perry or you're related to Mike Perry's girlfriend that you necessarily want to press charges on this guy when, you know, it's a disagreement, and sometimes with family there are disagreements, and sometimes in some families people get hit.
But the thing is that it depends on what state you're in. If the state feels that they can press charges based on an incident that's been taped, things can happen. So I don't know where that took place. If it took place in Florida, I mean, charges still can happen, even if the relative refuses. I can tell you that you know, I'm sure trouble is going to be coming his way at some point. And you know what? The biggest trouble is that Dana sees this video, and then again, you know, you have your buddy that was like, or the one that you really dislike, that's still fighting in the UFC, that had all kinds of problems in the NFL, and he's still in that game. So,
yeah, but there's no video. There's no video, okay, of him doing anything. And also, Mike Perry, like, hitting the guy is one thing. Getting into a fight at a bar is one thing. But when you're using the N-word publicly,
it's retarded.
You know, okay, you can't use that either, AJ. You can't say that. You can't say that either. That's like almost as bad.
I forgot.
Point. Yeah, could you apologize for that? Sorry. I apologize for AJ's use of the R word, which we're not supposed to use either, AJ. Okay?
All right.
My
Regardless, man, there's so many,
there's a lot of words you can't use, AJ. And AJ's part of a generation where he can't always keep up with these things. He's a little bit older, a little long in the tooth. So I have to keep him current, you know, let him know that certain words are acceptable and certain words are not acceptable.
Listen, I'm old school, but you know what? What Mike Perry was using, I mean, am I allowed to use he's an idiot? Is that a word that's not banned?
You could say that. You could say that.
Okay, there you
It was
go.
definitely stupid to say. And when you say those types of words, when you say that word, especially in public, and you're recorded saying that, it's kind of hard to, as the UFC, accept him back in your octagon, knowing that he says the N-word as a white guy. That's not, if Dana White said that, I think that would be the end of Dana White. I think if most white fighters in the UFC were caught on video saying the N-word, it would be a wrap. I would hope that it would be done for them. That's not something that they should be saying. So
It doesn't make any sense.
What just happened, AJ? The roaring engine behind you is like an F1 track.
You know what? I'm not too far. I'm in my new digs. You can hear it that clear. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
That was a nice motorcycle that went by. But you know what? What it comes down to is that a lot of these fighters get into the fighting game. They have coaches for just about everything. What they need as a coach is somebody like Anthony Robbins to come in and talk to them how to conduct themselves professionally.
Yeah.
Or have a George St. Pierre there give a seminar on how to be responsible as a professional athlete. Look, it happens all the time. Athletes get into all kinds of trouble, but it's very, very few of them. And the thing is that, you know what? The MMA game has to have some kind of like education on how to conduct themselves out in the public,
Yeah, well, I think Mike Perry, before he gets one of those coaches, he should maybe start with like a head coach of MMA, because he had his girlfriend cornering him his last fight.
Good point,
God
Dave.
damn fucking
Good
dummy.
point.
Fucking dummy, man. I don't like that guy at all.
You know what? This whole attitude of trying to have no coach and whatnot, it's like, it just doesn't make sense. And you can see the effects of having not a good coach or a good team around you. Like Mike Tyson had like Gus D'Amato and a whole team behind him to keep him like in line in the days back. Your coach is everything. Your coach is like a father figure. He's your best friend. He's also your worst enemy because he tells you things that you want to hear. And that's what you need. Mike Perry has no direction. And you can see by this video where his direction is going to lead to. It's going to be unemployment and possibly behind jail. Behind bars, I should say. And you know what? That's his fault.
It could be a bad time for Mike Perry. It may not end well. It certainly didn't end well for this guy, AJ. Here's the AJ quiz of the night. I'm going to quiz you, AJ, on a trending topic of the day. I'm going to quiz you to see if you know who these people are. AJ, who is this guy?
Jesus, Murphy, who is that?
Who's that guy?
Well, I can see what it's saying there. It's a rapper. But if I didn't see that, I'd be like, kind of looks like Tyron Woodley, like when he was younger.
Yeah, you don't know who that guy is.
Well, I'm not. Yeah, I don't. Is that hair around him or earphones?
What's hair?
What the heck? He's a rapper.
That guy.
Is he better than like?
He's
Vanilla
dead.
Ice?
He's dead.
What?
His name was Pop Smoke. He was a very talented young rapper that I was actually just starting to get into when he died. I was starting to really listen to his music and enjoy it. I really liked his voice. I really liked his sound. Pop Smoke. AJ, this guy was born in 1999, July 20th, 1999, and he was shot dead February 19th of this year. 20 years old. Pop Smoke, he had a whole big life ahead of him. A very successful rap career was on his way. A new album just got released. A new Pop Smoke album was like just released, or it's coming out maybe.
But who did he get shot by it? Like,
I think he's got like new stuff coming out. He was shot in Los Angeles, and today they arrested 5 people in connection with. Whoa! What was that, AJ? So 5 people have been arrested in connection with his death. Bashar Jackson was his real name, Pop Smoke. they've arrested 2 juvenile males and 3 adult males related to the murder of Pop Smoke. This just happened today, and he was murdered back in February, so I've been waiting for this for a while, so I'm pleased that the LAPD did something right and arrested some people that possibly killed Pop Smoke, which is a real tragic loss to the hip-hop community. The guy, like I said, so much promise, 20 years old. To see that his birth date was in 1999 makes you so sad that anybody... Crazy that people could be born in 1999 and be full-grown adults at this point, you know? This guy's dead. Born in 99, and he's dead with a whole big life ahead of him. The guy was going to be a big star in rap music, and they shot him in Los Angeles. And, of course, they find, they've arrested people there, but still no arrests for Biggie Smalls' murder back in Los Angeles way back in the 90s.
He got popped, the poor guy. But you know what? When you think about 1999, I remember 1999 as Prince's song, Party Like It's 1999, and boom, this poor guy gets popped in 2020. Like, what's up with the music industry, man? It's dangerous. Get into MMA.
Acme Tunes chat. Acme Tunes just dropped something on the chat that, like, I don't know if I should repeat, but it's just so funny to me.
What?
I don't know if we should go there. I want to preface this. Okay, so Acme Toon says all black people look the same to AJ.
What?
But this is like Acme Toons. Acme Toons is a black guy. I know Acme Toons. I met him a few times.
Acme's awesome.
He's a black guy, so this is him telling you that he thinks that you think all black people look the same because you think Pop Smoke looks like Tyron Woodley, which like he really doesn't at all. Really doesn't at all, but you're just confused. Man. AJ's just he's part of another generation, We excuse AJ. AJ's not racist. He's just a little ignorant sometimes, right, AJ?
How can I be racist? I'm Italian, man. There's more Italian jokes than anything else.
Yeah, Italians are never racist. I've seen The Sopranos, AJ. I've seen The Sopranos. I've heard the words that you have for those people.
I'm telling you, man.
I've heard the words. I've heard those words that Sopranos use. The Sopranos made Italians look very racist, to be honest, right? Like, if you watch The Sopranos and you see the way that The Sopranos treat black people throughout the series, it doesn't really look good. Makes them out to be pretty racist.
Listen, if I use those words like they did in The Sopranos in my household with my mom, I would have gotten that wooden spoon over the head so many times. Trust me, man.
Yeah, I'm glad you got that wooden spoon. She needs to keep that handy with you. Acme Toon says he loves you, AJ. He says, I love AJ. And that's what it says. Acme. That's what it says. AJ doesn't even know who Rihanna is. And that's true. You didn't know who Rihanna was, right? That was great.
No, man, not again. Oh,
hey, did you see who's running for president?
Who now?
Kanye.
Pee-wee Herman. Oh.
Kanye West. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he's going to win, too.
You're kidding me.
He's going to be president.
That'd be funny.
Come on, man.
That'd be awesome.
Better than Donald Trump or Joe Biden. I'd take Kanye West over those guys any day.
I'd vote for Kanye, man.
Maybe if Bolsonaro croaks because of COVID-19, Kanye could take over Brazil.
That's so bad, Dave.
Man, Bolsonaro's a dick, man. Fuck Bolsonaro.
What?
Fuck that guy. He's an idiot. The guy was walking around. He's like, oh, COVID is not such a big deal. I'm going to wear a mask. I'm not going to wear a mask, and I'm going to be around people. I'm going to shake hands. I'm going to be around all these people. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, I have COVID. Whatever. It's not so bad. I'll be fine. Even if I get it, it's no big deal. Like, because he's been downplaying it, man. You downplay this shit, it comes back and it bites you in the ass. He's like, oh, even if I get it, it'll be fine. No big deal. It's like, watch him get it and watch it fucking kill him, Like, I don't wish death upon anybody. I hope Bolsonaro survives, Thoughts are with, well, I'm not thinking about him. Fuck him. But, like, I don't want him to die, but I'm just saying, like, man, you reap what you sow sometimes, man. You get what you pay for. You fucking talk shit about coronavirus. That coronavirus is going to get you. I got ample respect for coronavirus. I don't want that shit around me. I think if it gets me, it would totally suck. I don't want to do it. I advocate wearing a mask. Please wear a mask. Don't come around me. Don't be within 6 feet of me. You come near me and I will kick you. If you're in kicking distance, you get kicked. That's my rule. I'm very respectful of this thing because I don't want to get it. Because it seems like these people that are not respectful of it, that aren't wearing masks, that are just kind of like willy-nilly, they wind up getting it. And I don't want that to be me, man. I don't want that shit. Stay away from me, coronavirus. I respect you. I hate you. I want you away from me. I want you out of my life. Fucking Bolsonaro, man. President of Brazil has coronavirus. After saying it was like not even real. Ooh,
and it's funny.
Good thing Fred's not on this show, man. He'd be having a field day with us right now.
I was just about to say that everybody probably is going to agree with you except for Fred.
Yeah.
And
Fred's
Freddie
on
right
the other
now is
side.
having, just to let Antoinette know, like, right now, Fred's having a baby, and I hope,
Yeah,
and
we
I
said it
love the
already.
name. No, but you didn't mention the name he chose, and I just want everybody to know that the name Connor was my choice. I said, Fred, you have a kid, it's going to be named Connor. And you know what? I think he's going to go with that. I'm telling you, Dave. Connor Garcia.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I know what name he's going with, and I don't think it's Connor.
What?
We did see, Acme Tunes earlier in the show says AJ is such a Connor stan, which you really are. You're such a Connor fanboy. Hey, AJ.
No. Look, I got my
AJ,
Khabib hat there.
You know how when we were in the studio, I used to always shoot you with guns, but now that you're not in the studio, I can't do it anymore?
I can't wait till we're back in studio so I can do that. I was talking about that today.
Watch this.
What is that? Popcorn. Oh, it's the... oh, right in the eye, man, if you would have got me. Oh,
That's right.
That one was...
Coming at you.
You know, people don't realize the crazy shit that we did on studio, in TSN studios, at the YouTube studios. The stuff that we do is ridiculous. Even at the zoo, when we went to the zoo, we did like some crazy shit.
Oh, man, the Park Safari Zoo, that was awesome, man. I was so excited about going back this summer, and we didn't get to go. I don't think we're going to get to go.
We're going to have to do a retreat. We can't do a ringside, not summer retreat. We're going to do it, man. We're going to
do like a fall retreat. I'm going to rent us a big fucking cabin somewhere, and we're going to get our whole families out there, and we're going to do a ringside retreat. Okay? We're going to do that.
What is it? It's more like a weed retreat.
Well, for Freddie and I, we're just going to be baked all the time. And then you can we're going to get you high on the retreat, all right? You're going to smoke some weed with us, AJ. Okay?
Listen, that one time, man, was already crazy enough
when
for
we
me. I can never stop. I can never stop thinking about all those cats that I saw. It was a scary day, man. Yeah. I was stuck in the elevator. I was downstairs in Bell Media basement. It was weird, man. It was a weird day.
All right, AJ, we're going to wrap up here. We've been on for a long time. It's getting late. We got other places to be. I'm going to be back here tomorrow at 12:45 for Dave and Johnny Live, and it's going to be a very special edition of Dave and Johnny Live because it's the Johnny North Birthday Spectacular.
What?
It's Johnny North's birthday. Woo! Beep, 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 beep. Happy birthday, Big Johnny. It'll be Johnny North's birthday tomorrow. So we will celebrate all things Johnny North. We will have special guests and surprises.
Is it Manscaped involved?
And more. I don't know what
Manscaped?
Manscaped. It's brought to you by Manscaped.
Let's hope Johnny doesn't bring his whips and his oils and that weird vibrating machine he brought last time.
Yeah, I paid a dominatrix to show up
Johnny
at his,
would love that.
To show up at his house tomorrow during the show, and she'll interrupt, and then she's gonna flog and whip him throughout Dave and Johnny Live. That's what's gonna happen tomorrow. It'll be Johnny's greatest time ever. His biggest dreams coming true.
That's
dominatrix.
Amazing. Bravo,
no,
Johnny.
I'm not doing that. I didn't do that, AJ.
Why not?
Although now I'm like thinking about it, like maybe I should have. He would love that.
Johnny would love that big time.
Do you know a dominatrix that I can call on short notice?
I know a few here and there. You know
a few. All right. That's the show. Let's end it on that. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We love you big time. Check out our sponsors, Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com. Use that promo code Ringside20 for 20% off plus free shipping. Go to ringsidereport.net, our website. That's where we have all the things. Go to vpn.ringsidereport.net. Sign up for IPVanish. You need a secure VPN. Go to vpn.ringsidereport.net and go to stitcher.com/premium. Use that promo code Ringside for a free month of Stitcher Premium. Stitcher.com/premium. Promo code Ringside. Ringsidereport.net. In the meantime, if you missed our AEW Fyter Fest Night 2 recap, you can check that out right now on the YouTube channel. like this video, subscribe to the channel, and when you do, click the bell so you get notifications every time that we are on. AEW Fighter Fest last night. Tonight we've got Ringside Report MMA. We previewed UFC 251 here tonight. Tomorrow we've got Dave and Johnny live. Saturday morning we've got Wrestling Uncensored. And then Saturday night, 10 p.m. right here on the channel, we will be watching UFC 251 with you for the UFC 251 live watch along. We're with you all weekend, keeping you entertained, keeping you laughing, and keeping you informed on all the things pro wrestling and MMA. RingsideReport.net, the RingsideReport.net network, the Ringside Report Network. I'm Dave Simon. He's AJ DeLesio. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram at Danny Bruck. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Dave Simon MMA. Freddie, Garcia, and Genevieve, we love you big time. Congratulations to the new baby. We're so happy to welcome a new member of the Ringside Report family into the world. Freddie,
Baby
we
Connor.
love you. So happy.
Baby
Congratulations. Just beautiful stuff, man. We're super excited. So, yes. Yes. Keep it going. We love it. Thank you to everybody hitting us up tonight on the chat, especially those who hit us up on the super chat. Thank you to Antoinette. Thank you to Patrick C. Hamilton. Thank you to Jason Morno Pete. We appreciate you big time for supporting the Ringside Report Network. We'll be back. AJ and I will be back Saturday night. I'll be back tomorrow, 12:45, right here with Big Johnny North. Thank you, everybody, for watching. For AJ, I'm Dave. This has been Ringside.
Happy birthday, Johnny North.